Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So this will more than likely be pretty much the most weird, silly, lucky, messed up, call it how you will, war that I have uploaded in a really long time. So I didn't have a path for section 1, but for section 2 I have path 7. I also have the combined fight to take at N at the right side of the map and a mini boss to deal with. And first fight I need to deal with is Sentinel, who has Spite and Powerful from a far node. So for this fight in particular, obviously I just brought in Medusa and activated Power Start 1 boost, pretty much immediately dropped my level 1, his armor shattered, and jobs are good, and pretty much there's not much to worry about past this point in this fight in particular. But as the fight is kind of like resolving itself, what you guys do need to know is that I was in more or less no condition to fight. It was after a very kind of like a lengthy night out when I was suffering from self-inflicted misery, and that was definitely the last thing at what I wanted to do, obviously. But since Alliance War is a team exercise and I was required to fight, so I ended up trying to master my ability and motor functions in order. Had like a quick shower before these fights and did my best. So the first fight obviously was quite simple. It's Sentinels, nothing too tricky. I did made some slip-ups there, but all in all, it was relatively simple. Now, the second fight I have brought in Human Torch War, which is arguably not the greatest idea, especially when I'm not really playing it all that well. And well, here's the mistake number 1. I didn't activate the pre-fight ability, what I should have, which would have made the fight quite a bit simpler. But at essence, I thought that Human Torch is basically like a perfect matchup for Mo anyways. And even though he has this kinetic transference here, I just figured that I'm going to be building up so much of these small smolders, that I'll be doing significant amounts of damage. But here we can see that slowly but surely I am starting to kind of like chip down and take more and more damage. And obviously at this point I already have 16 smolders, but then I don't even know how best to explain it. I just started messing up, and here I ate a combo because I was charging heavy attack, and here I triggered stubborn, and at this point after eating this I realized I'm almost dead, and there's like absolute panic mode in my head. But obviously I knew that I have a lot of smolders and I knew that I have level 3, and yeah, this was a very kind of dicey. I made the fight difficult for myself. Human Torch would have done perfectly fine. It was just me playing very poorly, much worse than I normally would have. But here I got super lucky that I did manage to finish him off before he dropped his level 3. So yeah, barely, somehow, miraculously, I managed to push through the Ebony Maw fight there because I was playing awful. And next fight is going to be Dr. Doom, and I wasn't entirely 100% sure whether I will have to take that fight, but well, again, that might just be because I wasn't 100% entirely sure of anything at that point in day. But yeah, so clearly I could have tried to take this fight with Torch, but I just went in because I knew that I'm not gonna play well. And so my plan for this fight in particular was just go kind of like Hakuna Matata YOLO, do not bait his special attacks, hit him as much as I can, finish my combos with lights, inflict some bleed, and hope that I can kill him before he can kill me. And yeah, that was about as much of a game plan as I had for this fight, because I knew that if the game is gonna come down to me accurately evading level 1s or me baiting out special attacks in time, then I'm gonna die. I knew 100% if I tried this fight with Torch, I'd be dead. However, here that indestructibility boost kind of like helped me out a bit. Obviously let me eat that level 3 and a couple of hits afterwards. And at this point still I'm looking kind of good. I'm not feeling too bad, but here we're gonna eat that level 2 where the Incinerate obviously is gonna tick me down. He goes for another level 1, which I am quite expectedly, not able to wait for this war. But slowly but surely we can see that he is chipping down, and I should have probably cut my combo short there and then I start a new one, but again, barely, with kind of like thanks to the live model decoy, I did manage to squeeze through that fight as well. And then I get a message that I still need to find this Guillotine 2099, and she is on that I think it's called Polka Dot Power and Stunning Reflection. So basically I'm not going to be getting power. Now Medusa is obviously going to work absolutely fantastic for the initial bit of it, because when I can armor shatter, then Guillotine's not gaining power, and the fight is, well, simple. It's very easy. There's not much to worry about. And yeah, the problem will be these last few bits here when yeah, armor shatter falls off. She's obviously gonna go invisible, and I'm obviously gonna get hit in the face a bunch, and I cannot stun her, and and I'm not able to play well. And again, at this point, I'm finding myself extremely worried here, playing as bad as I have done in a very long time. But at the same time, somehow still I am alive. That auto block on Medusa is saving me so many times. Eat another combo. And yeah, so Guillotine's at 14%, I was at 11, so now at 11 and 10%. And it's a very close, it's a nail biter, and it was a very, very close war. And so here, nearly I got roasted with that level 1. Quick dash in, the fight is over, and thank God. So that was all that was required of me in this alliance war in particular. And unfortunately, we did lose the war. But it was a really, really close war. Like, the difference there was a couple of deaths, I think, at the most. I think, basically, I think the difference was like 2 deaths in the end. And it was definitely a nail biter of the war. Therefore, it was, well, first and foremost, it's a huge, huge relief that I didn't kind of like ruin this for my team, and I somehow managed to scrape by my fights, well, yeah, without dying, without giving up any attack bonuses and stuff like that. And second of all, I just definitely wanted to give a huge shout out to SENSU. They were playing, I hope I didn't butcher the name, they were playing insanely well. It's quite clear that they can do extremely well in the season. This was our first loss in the season, so currently, well, this was the 5th war, so we won the first 4. We lost the 5th one. We're currently fighting our 6th war, which video is going to be up for quite soon. But yeah, so far we are having quite decent start of the season. Obviously the loss stinks, but again, thank goodness, at least this time it wasn't because of me. And yeah, so I was like super, super relieved about that one. And as I was rewatching those fights, God, I was playing so awful. But yeah, I think that will pretty much do for today's war video. Before I go though, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about the matchmaking thus far in this season? Because there's still a lot of talk about the change and how significantly differently alliances have been affected. And obviously there is very, very varied, wide variety of opinions, you could say. I have made my opinion clear on the war matchmaking, but perhaps at this point I'm kind of starting to feel that I should remake that video to reiterate it and make it a bit more clear. But yeah, all things said and done, season's about halfway through. So let me know, what do you guys think about the map? How are you guys growing into it? Are you guys getting accustomed to it? So far, the lanes that I have been doing aren't like absolutely horrible after the changes they did just before the season went live. There are still quite few very, very annoying, hard, tricky nodes, and quite a lot I personally don't like to look for in Alliance 4, but at the same time it's definitely not quite as bad as I expected it to be thus far. We'll see how all that changes by the end of the season. But yeah, that's enough of me mumbling here. I'm gonna leave you guys to it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys soon. See ya.